Hello. You guys seem to really like the last poster recreation video, so I'm doing it again, but this time recreating 3 posters from Captain America Brave New World with action figures. Let's see how I do. For this first poster, the posing is just as easy as the poster looks. Only using the shield from Captain America and taking that picture, and giving Red Hulk his open palm hand and doing my best to isolate his hand with my AirPods case since the blues are so identical. Throwing it into Procreate, I started by masking them off, of course, and the matched AirPod color actually worked out pretty well. Just thought I'd mention that. As for the positions, the hand in the poster is way larger than the shield is, but in real life, that's just not the case with these figures. So I simply just had to resize each element to better mimic the poster, making the hand huge and the shield just a little bit bigger. Now that everything's in place, I just have to set the shield's opacity down so I can see Red Hulk's hand behind the shield, so I can then erase the edges of the shield that I need to so his fingers can peek through. Once that's done, I gotta clean up what's left of the Red Hulk's hand at the bottom since the shield is what borders the graphic. Now onto the background, I took some shades of blue and went in and added a grain texture just because the real poster does a similar thing just to stay away from a solid blue color, and it's already looking like the poster. But we're not done just yet, so I'm gonna move on to color correction and set the saturation and brightness down, both for the hand and shields since Marvel went for a really dark and gritty color palette. Now I've done that, I'm gonna airbrush some of my own shadows and highlights for the shield to better match. And honestly, I won't do anything else to the hand since I feel like the in-camera lighting is good enough. And some finishing touches here and there, and this is the first poster done. Moving on to the second poster of the video, it gets a little more crowded, so we gotta pose up each of them to match their poster counterpart. I'm using Sam Wilson Captain America, which he needs multiple pictures since he's in it twice. It'll make more sense later. Peggy Carter as a stand-in for this woman, Zemo's head on Bucky's body to be the new Falcon, this Black Panther head sculpt on Star-Lord's body for Giancarlo Esposito's character, Magneto's head on this suit body for President Ross, and of course, the Red Hulk. Back into Procreate, of course starting by masking and placing each figure like normal. Here we have a bigger cast of characters to worry about, so my plan is to get them each situated in terms of placement, then worry about the background elements, and go back into the final details. As you saw earlier, I took multiple pictures of Captain America, and that's because he shows up twice. Once as this larger image, and again as a smaller, more dynamic pose with his wings out and everything. For this, I'll simply place him where he belongs, and mask out his wings to duplicate them and match the way they look on his back, and I'll reuse the shield image from the first poster twice here, once on Sam's back and another later down at the bottom of the poster. So with each element situated now, let's go to the background real quick. We have this off-white color for a border, so I'll start with that, and inside that border there is a half red and half dark brown color for the real background. And what's important to remember here is the red has to be very close to the Red Hulk's color since he's the one that blends into the background the most. And towards the bottom here there is a slanted shape that holds the text in later. And for now, I'll add the second shield that I was talking about earlier to the bottom to finish up the main elements of this poster. Starting on the details, I added this white glow around the shield and proceeded to give that white glow a jagged texture, just like you see on the real thing. There is a lot of this found on this poster, so I wanted to test it out here. I nearly forgot to add these small rockets that share a trail with Sam Wilson's Captain America, so I added those to get the poster moving and did my best to line them up properly. I continued with the white kind of glow for both big and small Captain Americas, and creating those trails that I talked about that follow him and the rockets. And I'm not gonna lie, my screen recording from here on out for this poster got corrupted, so I'll continue with the replay feature Procreate thankfully has. It'll just look a little different. But the poster has a solid color for the shield, so I did my best to color that and copy the look. More importantly, to fade out the white next to Giancarlo Esposito's character, and I did a similar jagged color around the Red Hulk, and going near and around the borders with an imperfect brush to give the same effect from the official poster. I then made a thin circle to copy and paste around the shield to continue its shape at the bottom, and finally color corrected everyone to a more red and blue undertone, finishing it up with the text, and that is the second poster done. On to the last poster, we're back to just 2 figures. This one, I decided to challenge myself a bit more to make it look a little more accurate in terms of the characters, which you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. But here I decided to replace the shield with another image that I took just because the angle wasn't quite the one I wanted. But like I said, I want to make Cap's suit just a bit more accurate with this one, so I selected the neck piece of his suit and tried to color match it with the blue, and drawing over the mask piece seen on his head with the skin tone to try and remove it. I tried to match these shadows as best as I could, and I did the same thing on the arm, trying to make it look like he rolled his sleeve up. But let me know how you think that turned out. Anyways, now that that's done, I moved to Red Hulk's arm and did some simple shadow and highlight work, which most of it was already done naturally from the photo. I fixed up the shield's lighting situation because there was too much shine going on compared to the real poster. I drew in shadows around Captain America's body, then used a white cloud brush to smoke out the background as best as I could. I then started on the Red Hulk's impact on the shield, going with a deep shadow under the fist and a bright white light bouncing off the shield. I found this rough image of Sparks online, and I gave it a motion blur effect, which I think really sold the poster, and I'm pretty proud of how that came out after some shaping and color tweaking. I did some final cleanup and text work, and that's the third and final poster of the video. These were some challenging posters to recreate. I did my best with what I know Procreate can do. You guys did suggest some free alternatives that are similar to Photoshop in the last poster video, so I'll check those out for future videos. But for now, let me know how you think I did on these Brave New World posters. Check out the others I've made if you're interested, and let me know what else I should recreate. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video.